Hi everyone and welcome back to another video with me Shruti Vashist. You're watching Living Our Ascension. So today I wanted to speak to you about ascension symptoms because we are having them quite a bit right now. There's a lot of new light that is landing on the planet. I briefly mentioned it in a previous video. I'll link it up there. You can check it out. And yeah, there's just a lot happening, and I'm speaking about whatever I can put words to, because it does take a while for it to properly integrate and to speak with words and get to the core of the essence of what is landing and what's happening. But before that, I wanted to, in this video, speak to you about the ascension symptoms when you have them, how to integrate them. And I'll give you an example as well of what often happens. And this video is actually inspired by a friend of mine who spoke to me. They were mentioning about how they're going through life, and it's really up to you to determine and to discern whether these for you are ascension symptoms or not. But this is how I felt. I always feel ascension symptoms, or have felt in the past. So I thought I'd share about that because I thought it could benefit like a lot of people who are on the path of ascension. And shout out to Kelly for inspiring this video. I was supposed to give her a shout out in a previous video that something, I forgot what it was, but she had also inspired, but this time I remembered. So anyway, so if you would like to hear more about this, then please keep watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and check out below this video. I have links to a course called Manifest Soulmate Relationships to manifest that balanced divine reunion with soul family, and to create relationships that are within divine love. It's a really intensive course. It's a 30-day course, and I have very body-based exercises, very grounding exercises, so that you land that vibration. There's a free course as well, a free mini course, and there are links to work with me personally, all of my personal services. So check out all of those links below this video. And so today we're going to be speaking about integrating ascension symptoms, like I said. So what this friend of mine mentioned to me was that what's happening with them is that there's lots of energy one day. And again, this is very common with ascension symptoms. So there's lots of energy one day, and they feel scattered because they are doing so many different things. It's like our hands are in so many different things, and where we have so much drive and energy to do all of them. And often when at least in the case of ascension symptoms, when it happens, it's our new abilities are opening up, or new light has landed, so new level of flow is opening up, and then new abilities can come to the surface. So we want to engage with new energy in different things, and often sometimes these can be new things, or we're doing things in a new way that feels more like flow. It's kind of like where you have a new level of light, and you just have this burst of energy, and you want to put it into whatever those actions are that you're doing. That's how it feels. But it can feel very scattered in the beginning, because that means that light has not fully landed. It's entering, but it's causing chaos in the body, because that's what light does. Light triggers, doesn't it? Light and truth, they kind of relate to the masculine principle within spirituality, and they trigger us. So what it does is, when light starts to land in the body, when we have these light influxes, it will cause chaos in the body, because it's bringing up all of those things that are not within balance. So things that are within balance, you will still feel centered. And then those things, those areas, or those let's just say cells in our body that are not feeling centered, those are the ones that will, where we will feel scattered, essentially. But ascension symptoms, no matter what level of light we hold, or no matter how centered we are, there might still be some level of because it's still new light that is landing in a physical, very dense body. So even though you have mastered it, you might still feel some discomfort that is there. But it becomes less and less with more awareness and doing this more. So that's why I wanted to make this video, to bring awareness to how you can work with this. So anyway, so they mentioned I never completed what they mentioned, which is what they said that one day they'll have this burst of energy and they'll be doing lots of different things and it'll feel scattered, but they have lots of energy and drive to do that. And another day then they feel exhausted, and then they're just sleeping a lot, they said. So this again is not unusual for ascension symptoms. It's one of the first signs that the light body is integrating at a deeper level within us, that where we are integrating light influxes whether we realize it or not. And sometimes because we're going through these extremes, we can feel like, is there something wrong with me? Some people can, if they don't know what's going on, and it's like, they're like, why am I behaving these two extremes, almost like bipolar or something. And it's you will know for yourself. When people are going through the ascension process, they will sometimes go through these extremes. It doesn't mean that it's a physical disease or a mental disease. Sometimes symptoms can be a bit similar. I'm not saying in this person's case that's what they felt. I'm not speaking for them. I'm just using the one example that they gave me and putting it now in a general sense. But if like you're fluctuating between extremes, this is normal, because with ascension symptoms, because light is really powerful, and when we resist it, either knowingly or unknowingly, it creates it creates a small amount of suffering, or it creates confusion or some scatteredness, at different levels for different people, depending on how much resistance we have to it. But I want to bring you awareness into what you can do. So basically, what happens is that when light is integrating through your body, right? So you must have invoked it, otherwise it cannot enter. Otherwise it would be entering every human on the planet, and that's not what's happening. So at a certain level, you want light. You have invoked it. You have asked for it, right? With your vibration, just the vibration that you hold. So now with every new light influx, when the earth's energy becomes lighter, you are a pillar for light, so it'll be grounding through you. And so when it's coming through you, like I said, it'll cause some scatteredness, but when it descends fully, and it comes at the integration state. So first we open up to light, then the light descends, and then it integrates through us, properly becomes grounded, becomes one with our body. And then we're able to use that light in a new way. So when we're feeling scattered, that's a sign that it's not at the integration stage. It's not integrating properly or to the highest degree that is possible. And what we can do, the reason for this, first of all, might be because we are still open to some of the collective's more lower energy. Like we haven't because that is what discord is, right? The only time we feel discord is when those vibrations of duality are still in play. So maybe I'm not saying that you are impure, but when we read, let's say, too much about what's happening in the media, for example, these days, that's the main thing that's happening, right? Or there's all of these fear realities that are playing out and all of that. So we're even in those subtle ways, we're absorbing this more dense energy. So when there's all of this density, we haven't let go. When we're holding on to some density because of the collective, and even if you're not eating dense food or consuming things from media, you will still be feeling dense energy, because that is what the collective holds. But when we are centered, and when we do more balancing things, like I said, eating balanced foods and feeding ourselves balance in all ways, whether that's physically or what we are taking in through our senses, what we are reading and all of that, when the more that we are and the more that we go out into nature as well, so the more balanced that we are, the less we are allowing in that collective energy to affect us. We might still feel it, but it'll be like this dominant feeling. It's like when you get a vibe from a person, it's from your higher heart, your inner heart, the deepest core of you. You're getting a sense of what that blueprint is, what their vibration is. So it'll feel like that there's the collective and there's this larger energy that's there, and then you can deal with it any way you want. You can release it, or you can because we're often called to do this more integration. So then you can do practices where you call on the white light and you integrate that, because you're helping the collective that way. But essentially what we need is stronger boundaries at that stage. If you are not integrating properly the white light that's coming in, then we need firm boundaries. So we need to take certain actions, like even a one small action. You will know what it is for you if you really just feel with your body. Your body will tell you what it is that you need to do, where you need to not allow in as much of the mass reality, what you can do now. So when you allow that, it leads to, again, more harmony. It is, it can often feel like I'm detaching myself from the collective. I'll be a little bit more, it's a bit more solitary or whatever. In the beginning it will be, because you're going within. But then when that light fully integrates, because what you're doing is you've said, I'm making myself fully empty. So you might have made yourself empty to a certain degree by saying, I want light. The light comes in, but there's still some density. So now make yourself fully empty, fully empty. Because when we make ourselves fully empty, what happens is that light flows through us and grounds through us in such a way that we don't even feel like a physical body. Almost like it's almost like we feel like light. The light just takes over and does its own thing, and that is our main purpose anyway. We are a light pillar. When we land in the vibration of ascension, when this fifth dimensional vibration starts to kick in, we start becoming light pillars. And that is, no matter what we are doing, that's actually at the core of it the only work we're doing. We have been placed strategically in different parts of the world at different places at a particular time for a certain reason. And even those times where you feel unbalanced, you're in a mall or you're in a crowded place and you suddenly feel overwhelmed, like, oh my god, and then you need to sit down, or you feel exhausted or whatever, those are all for a certain reason, and it has more to do with the collective energies than you needing to heal things of your own past. It's like, when you bring yourself back within balance through bringing the breath, through calling on the white light, or whatever it is that you do, going out into nature and addressing that part of you that feels a bit unbalanced, what you're doing is you are bringing light into the denser areas in the collective. So you're anchoring light no matter what you do. So if this is happening for you, ascension symptoms, you're doing it anyway. You are a light pillar. You have aligned with that purpose in quite an active way now, and where consciously or unconsciously it's going to happen through you. So why not just allow it seamlessly? Why not let go of resistance? Because it'll just be more easy for us. All we have to do is just have firm boundaries, when so that little bit of the density that's there, that's causing the chaos, when it's not there, you fully become empty. What happens when you're fully empty, like a cup? There's water pouring in, or there's light coming through, and there's no disturbance because there's nothing there. It can fully land, it can fully penetrate, go down into the ground and ground into Mother Earth through this pillar that you are. There's nothing to stop it, so there's nothing, no chaos that's there. It's just a stream, like a smooth stream that happens. So yeah, have firmer boundaries. You'll know what that action is. Obviously I can't tell you anybody, whoever's watching this, because it's going to be different for everybody, but we all go through this. So each time light integrates, we are called to because we are also, our light quotient is going higher, right? When light lands in our own bodies, so our own bodies change. So we also need to make a more aligned choice, a choice that is more aligned with the center. So I was telling you that in the beginning it might feel more solitary because you have to go within, and you're like sort of almost like non-attaching from the collective and something that you have known, but because you are choosing that, the moment that the light integrates through you, then the integration is complete. Then the body feels very balanced, and the body has so much more energy, and it has new abilities. You will feel almost superhuman, like there's these new abilities, just like what my friend was describing. There's like the superhuman energy that's there, and you can do multiple things, and you like it's like you want to put it into everything. But at the same time, it won't be scattered, and it won't be in a way that the body can't handle. It'll be in a very grounded way, like in a stable, long-lasting way. So it'll feel perhaps less hyper, but it'll be more embodied. So power lands this way. It's not so hyper. Think of all the people that are powerful. Their main vibration is not this hyper, that's not how they achieve things, because they're hyper. Anybody who's doing it in a balanced way and is truly powerful, they might go through those periods, but what they have done is they have anchored it and they have integrated it. So it's like their vibration is more chill rather than, I really like this word these days because that's what I'm vibrating with too. It's chill, they are just flowing. So that's what happens when because then the light has had some time and has had allowance by your choices to properly integrate with the body without any disturbances. And the thing is that when a certain level of light lands, it is true that the more core and aligned choice that we make, boundaries that we have, or which we're choosing something pure, something more pure for our path right now, the more light that we are able to integrate. But at the same time, those who are serving Ascension, to be honest, sometimes it feels like we don't have a choice. It's like that level of light just lands and you're forced, you have to, almost it feels like that sometimes. Because at a soul level, you have chosen this, you have chosen that I'm here to serve. That's my one and only mission. No matter how many things I'm actually doing, the one actually core thing is that's all you're doing. You're a pillar of light. So why not then, make it easier for yourself if that is what it feels like, and it's sort of inevitable. Okay, so let's see what other points I have. I've written some down. So my friend was saying that they use the energy, when they have this lots of energy, they use it to be super productive on one day, and then they sleep or rest the other day, and they also plan for what to do during those days when they're sleeping or resting. They plan for what to do next when they do have that more energy. So which is a really good thing. This is a sign of coming into flow, right? So if you too, whoever is watching this, is experiencing this, that this is naturally life is showing you to come into flow. Because what happens is that it's almost like when light is landing, it sometimes feels like you're being forced, that we had something with our mind that we wanted to achieve, we wanted to do, and almost like we don't have the energy that day to do it. So it's showing you, no, this is not for your highest good right now. It might be a good thing, you can do it another time. Right now, the highest thing for the planet and for you is just to integrate. So it's like slow down and relax. That's the feminine side, the non-action side, the receptive side, assimilating, taking care of yourself and the body, and just sensually absorbing and receiving. So what my friend is describing basically is that process. It's like it's happening through their body, and they are very wise. Like they have this body wisdom that is there, and because I know them personally also, so I know that they're very wise and they have like this grounded wisdom that's there, very in the body. They even like a lot of body-based practices that they're drawn to. So what was I saying? That is, so if it's something that you're not feeling in your life, then you can choose it those days when you're called, when you're exhausted. And I will get into the balanced way to do this, like how it happens when we become more masterful with it as well. I'll speak about that, because even that is not free of complete chaos, but I'll describe the difference. So I'll get to that in a second. So let's see. So you can actually do this yourself. If it's not something that's naturally happening for you right now, you can choose those days when you have that feel more like rest days, that feel more like your body just needs to rest. Listen to your body, make that happen, because otherwise you will be exhausted. And just breathe, and it's more about stillness and allowance, receiving and integrating than action. And believe me, you might feel like, oh, I'm missing out, I have so much action to do, I have so much work, or I have this and that. But when you allow true integration to properly happen, first of all, your body won't suffer as much, and secondly, the light has a way, because the light particles are very packed. That's why they are light particles, like it's like condensed. And what they do is, like when it's properly integrated, you'll be doing one action, and with that you'll be completing like 5 different things, and believe me, like, you have to try it out to know. It's not something that I can describe with words. And it'll just be, you'll become more efficient, you know. And it's not with the mind, like planning, how can I be more efficient? If I do this at this time, I'll also pick up my kids, you know, I can do that together. It's not really like that. It just it's inspired action. It will flow through you. There's very little action that you do, like one action will lead to much more. So, and then when we come into proper mastery, you know, full mastery, we might also be doing a lot of actions too. But through that, imagine how much we are achieving if one little action that we do. Because in the beginning stages of coming into the fifth dimensional vibration of when the Christ body is still landing in our physical vessel, you know, you will observe this, like lots of people who are on the path of spirituality, they let's say they're not working like these normal jobs, or they're not acting as much out in the world, you know, like the whole world is based on how much action you're doing. So you'll see that it's more about going within, relaxing. They're spending time in nature. They're not as such doing much in their life, and they go through years of this sometimes. Sometimes it's a shorter phase, sometimes it's a longer phase, whatever, doesn't matter. But believe me, you will come into a time when it'll be a lot of action too, but it'll be inspired, because we become very masterful at integrating. Then it's like there's a light influx, and you know, I feel it, and then just breathe, allow it to assimilate, because you live in a state of more surrender at this point, when, you know, it's more masterful. So there isn't that level of density to be dealt with, or even if there is and you spot it, you know how to surrender and let go, because you've seen what that does for you. It's not mind based, and it's something you have done over and over again, so you're not reluctant to do it anymore, and the body remembers how to do it, so it's easy then. So then assimilation happens quickly. It happens a lot effectively. There's more light particle. That's how eventually the light body lands, when we allow these influxes each time, more and more deeper in our body. So ultimately it becomes grounded and present, you know. So what else did I want to say? Yeah, so balance, then we reach a level of balanced integration. So what does balanced integration look like? And integration, you know, I encourage you to integrate light anyway, and any way in which integration is happening in your life is good. But when we hit this level of balanced integration, where when integrations come, they don't cause as much chaos. This is, again, like I explained, because we don't hold on to so much. There isn't so much control, and it's about, you have made yourself fully empty. That's basically what it is. That I'm like an empty vessel, and light comes and fills me whenever it wants, and it does its thing on the planet. I'm not doing anything. It's effortless. I'm just this empty vessel. Suddenly I'm filled in by light. I feel powerful. I feel this power of the light. At the same time, I am so humble, because I have completely let go and allowed myself to be properly, fully filled in. It's not me, it's Sun's ego. It's the light, and it does its work through me, through my physical vessel. It grounds, and it causes things in the unseen realms that I can't even see. But, you know, also we will know what that is, because we'll start feeling it. When the higher heart opens up, it feels what our light is doing too. We'll get synchronicities, we'll get messages, or we'll just know. You know, different people feel differently, they receive messages differently. But and this is how our purpose also, we come to know what our purpose is through these step by step like this. So balanced integration looks like this, where you receive light, you make yourself empty, you let it do its work through you. It's effortless, and so the action is also effortless. It feels like you're not doing any action. What am I doing? I'm just like, there's light moving through me, and you know, now I'm guided to make this video, but it's so easy for me to do because I'm going through this, or my friend just spoke to me about it. I'm not like planning what video should I make today. It's like my friend spoke to me, I was inspired, and here's the whole video. You know, like I'm making like a half an hour whatever video based on something that naturally happened, effortless. And I can speak about it. I've been through this process. I'm not strategically necessarily planning it out. Of course, I've written some notes. I'm not saying there's no mental energy that's involved, but it comes later, after the light has fully landed and integrated, and then it doesn't feel like as much work. You're just planning, structuring a little bit, but it's within flow. So let's see. So Okay, so even within balanced integration and masterful integration, when we have become used to it, when it's more masterful in the body, when we know what we're doing in a sense, then there can still be some tiredness that happens. But the difference between an ascension symptom and like people who are sick or ill, like, because even the collective at a certain level, it doesn't affect them so much when the light influxes come in, but it does to some degree, like at an inner level it does. And sometimes what comes out when it's really intense is their sickness, so these symptoms can be sometimes similar. But the difference between an ascension symptom, I've made another video a long time ago on ascension symptoms, I'll link it up here, you can watch it. It's very in-depth about the difference between ascension symptoms and like an illness, because sometimes people are confused in the beginning, like they don't know. And the in one line, the difference is that, or maybe more than one line, but basically you might feel, the body might feel a little bit of tiredness because the light is making new channels through it. It's almost like, like your spinal cord, through your spinal cord, these electrical signals go, that energize us and whatever. So the light also finds a passageway, it makes a passageway, energetic passageway through our body. So when it's doing that, it can feel a little bit more uncomfortable at first, but again, we can make it an easier process by being balanced ourselves, through feeding ourselves everything within balance. Drink lots of water too, that really helps, because it's fire, light is fire, and you balance it with water. And then so there can be some tiredness or some fatigue or some pains, like sometimes I don't really feel it too much, but the only thing I feel is like my nerves, like especially when there's lightnings that happen, a lot of the time my ascension symptoms come in then. There's new light influxes sometimes, for some reason in my life it has to do a lot with thunder and lightning. And like when it's thundering, sometimes I'll get like a slight headache. Again, it's nothing too much, but it might be a bit much for you in the beginning, if you're holding some density. And I have experienced, slightly more, I wouldn't say severe, but a little bit more pain than I experience now when I was beginning. So it's normal, but it's just, where we're holding certain things, energy is trapped, and that's what hurts really. Light does not as such hurt, but it transmutes, it changes things in your body when it comes in, and that's what feels uncomfortable. So as long as we release that control, and we're open to being transformed, then it's surrender, then it's much easier. So I keep going off, but what I was saying was that the difference between ascension symptoms and the symptoms of an illness are that ascension symptoms, while they might cause some level of discomfort in the body, it'll last like 1 day, 2 days, maybe half a day. It'll be a little bit intense at that time, but because it's not an illness that's in your body, so it's just energy moving through. When it's done that, even if the physical organs are tired and you're feeling, it's not actually physical, it's like more energetic, because we're opening up and our higher senses are opening up. So that where we distinguish between what is physical and higher starts to become less. So let's say the energetic starts feeling a little bit more physical too. Like when we're integrating light, we might feel tingling sensations. They feel almost physical, like it's not even only energetic. Like when energy is moving through you and you're feeling energy, that might feel like energy, but sometimes it'll become a little bit more physical than that also, through these tingling sensations and just different kinds of things. So that's why the pain also comes in, because it's becoming more physical. Light is becoming more physical, but it never causes pain for too long, unless there is some pain in your body that is of a that has to do with something that we need to let go of, basically. So that's the difference. And the other thing is, how you know that it's not a disease is because when it integrates, which 1 or 2 days, whatever, then you feel very much in flow. You feel like you're a new person. You feel like you have more energy, and it's in a balanced way. It's not this hyper scattered way where we're feeling like we're floating slightly off the ground and it's like hyper and then exhaustion. It feels balanced. In the first few days it might feel a little bit more like that, extremes, but it balances out, it centers, it integrates, and then it's you're a new person, you're a new level of you have a new level of self-mastery that's landed. You know, the light body has landed in a deeper way. So you can see I'm still a little bit hyper because these light integrations are happening, but it's, you know, leading to things like this where I'm speaking a lot or whatever. It's not really affecting the body so much at all actually for me right now. Okay, so I hope that you enjoyed this video. It's a bit of a long one, but I hope that it helps you with your Ascension symptoms, and for some people to know that they're not crazy or if they're going through extremes, and also hopefully given you some tips how to integrate. You can check out the video I linked that goes even more in depth. By the way, I'm making a course on coming into the 5th dimensional vibration. I'm really excited about it because it's the Ascension course. It's moving into the 5th dimension. And I have very body-based exercises. It's not just meditations. It's about grounding it, because lots of people have been in this, they speak about the 5th dimension and, you know, they're experiencing light at some levels, but physically actually properly grounding. Like the example I gave you here, you might be feeling light, it's moving through you, but you're feeling scattered, or your purpose is not fully there and it's making you frustrated or whatever. So this course anchors us, it moves our vibration into the 5th dimension. It opens up the higher heart chakra, which is related to the 5th dimensional vibration, where we experience a 5th dimensional reality. So I'll be announcing it soon. Don't forget to subscribe if you would like to hear about it. I think I have one more section left, but also some other things. So maybe in a few weeks it'll be out. Who knows? Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you in my next video.